Hello, my name's Michelle. I have a lisp. It is my Invisalign braces. I have not gotten used to talking with them yet. This is take 6 at this point. First one is about 15 minutes long. That's a little too long. Okay, so we won't go quite in that much detail. One of the things that I was working on for the Mad Libs project was I wanted to practice sending a variable to a function and sending it back, and then sending it to another function. So doing the kind of back and forth. So having the right function in the right place so that it's calling the right thing that you want. That was kind of my goal. One of the nifty things that I learned is, it's not so much a big deal here, but this backslash technically is an escape. And backslash tab, T for tab, is actually just 4. So backslash tab, or backslash T is tab, so 4 spaces. And then you have your backslash N, which is new line. Then you have backslash R, which is carriage return. So if you only do backslash N and you're working on your program, you only do backslash N because you're like, oh, new line. Well, this is how it's going to plan. Da 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 da, and then N, backslash N, new line, drops down. Da 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 da. Rather than a typewriter where you want it to go across, and then carriage return, new line, carriage return, new line, and then that helps you keep your story in a like square that you want. Otherwise, when people stretch out the screen, the whole story goes along the whole thing, which it is nice. They can squish together and it looks like a nice square. But if you really want to program it to the right way to keep your format same, no matter who's playing with it, whatever on what program, then backslash R is your character return. That was fun. The other interesting thing that I ran into was I wanted to call story 1 story_1 and story 2 story_2. As I was testing my program, I keep messing up story 1 or story 2 because it's like STORY_1, and I'm trying to just test through the project, right? So it's moving too fast and I mess up. So we're going to keep user entries simple, like A and B. So that's what I did. The user can choose A for story 1 and B for story 2, which made my testing way faster. Let's see, there's my stories, and we go into my main function and wanted to point out, so I start initialize variables. This I thought was fun. While_loop_start equals yes. So I started my while loop, but I just called it while loop start. So now it's not going to get in the way of anything, and I'm not going to crash variables trying to do the same thing, because it'd be like, while loop start yes. So that's like, do you want to play a game kind of thing. Yeah, it starts. Anyway, so I get their name in the getName function, and then I return these names to this function that I'm in at the moment, and then I greet the user, which is also a function, and then I put the first name in there. So I call the function, I got the first name and the last name, I send it back to the main function, and then I put it in another function, and then the function prints. Okay, now while, here's my, oh right, I initialize the variables, while loop start equals y. So here I have my while loop start dot lower equal y function, or while statement. So I can have this loop going, and then I ask play. Now, every time I ask someone to play, if they say no, then I have to print out, this is how many games you played. And if they say yes, you've played this many games, how would you like to play again? So I have to get the answer from Ask Play, and I have to send Games Play to it, and it's kind of going to go in that whole circle loop. So that way, Games Played is my count. That was the other thing. I'm tired of using counter. I'd like to use what are we counting? So Games Played. We're counting Games Played. Technically, I should have said stories made, but we're just going to leave it for now. I'm not going to mess up anything in the code. Just leave it. It's done. Anyway, so here, if they say if answer play is no, because I brought the answer back, so it went to Ask Play and it brought back the answer play. So if the answer play happens to be N for no, then we're going to say goodbye and exit. After we let them know how many games we played. So if they exit right away, obviously it's going to be 0 because I haven't played any games. I did put you listen to stories. Wasn't about to go change all my variables at the moment. So if you use PyCharm, they have a handy little feature where you can click on a variable and you find all of them in your whole entire program, and then you just type whatever new variable you want and it replaces them all of them in that main py file. So that is handy. Anyway, Ripple might do something like that. Here we go. I used here you can see I used a new line carriage return, or the brave little seed, because I say lastly enter E to exit the program. That was one of the last things I did. I was like, there's not a lot of exit points here. And put more exit points. Okay, so if the story is A, it's story 1, Curious Seed, or Curious Kitten, and story 2 is Brave Little Seed. Okay, they play until they decide to quit, or they say no, and then there's all these goodbyes, games played, stories listened to. Okay, so see, it's been 7 minutes already. Run. I'm going to do it really fast. M for my first name. S for my last name. Oh, it looks like I forgot to actually push anything from my first name. So, well, we'll just continue playing. Yes. Wonderful. Let's get started. I played 0 games. All right, well, let's go with A. So we're going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, or E. It's supposed to be F. G. There's our story. Would you like to play again? Yes. What story? B. Okay, noun, and I'll do the same thing because E's and grace and quick. A, E, C, E. That one only has up to A, B, C, D, E. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe one more. So there's Brave Little Seed. Now I could choose to play again, and I pushed the wrong one, so here we are. And then I can exit. Here, I'll just show you that I can go all the way up here, and it'll go, what's your name? M, S, let's start a game, you want to play? No. Goodbye. It says died unexpectedly, but it didn't. I told it to exit. I'm sure we could do a nicer thing there, and I'll learn and remember, because some of these things I learn and then you don't remember. So we can exit, and name M, S. Do you want to play a game? Yes. Okay. Now we can also exit from this point. You listen to 0 stories. Bye. So that's my project. Thanks for listening, and that's all, folks. Okay, bye.